Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Art of Aging with V. I'm V, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing a wig that was sent to me by Frannies Hair, and I'd like to thank her for sending that to me for review. And the wig is called give you a picture. It's an Wille wig, and it is called Relax. So I received this a couple of days ago. I did post a couple pictures on a private Facebook page for Frannies Hair called Frannies Hair. But I wanted to show you that I hadn't done anything to it. I wanted to show you how it came in the box. So this is the box. It's from the Hair Power collection by Wille. It is in metallic blonde rooted. It came like this. I opened it up. It was like this. I don't know if they don't put hair nets on their short wigs or not, but it didn't have one on. Also, there are bobby pins in here, but it wasn't clipped in. And the usual packaging that's inside the wig, there's only one piece, there's usually a couple, was laying tucked underneath all of the cardboard, not inside the wig. I did find about 3 small pieces of hair on the top that were threaded through to the back inside the cap that I had to rethread back to the front. So I don't have any way of knowing whether this was a return that someone sent in or not. It may have been. It doesn't really matter. That's not a reflection on Frannies Hair because it came from a warehouse where she ordered it from the distribution center that sent it from her order to me. So she didn't actually have it herself. So this is what it looks like. It is a very cute shag. It, like I said, it's called Relax. It is a heat-friendly wig. It is considered petite average, and they tell you in the instructions that you can restyle it with the heat, but have your heat tool at 260 degrees and have the hair damp when you use it. So the front is 4.5 inches long. The crown is 4.5. The nape is 2.5. The sides are 3.5, and it weighs only 2.3 ounces. And I'll show you the inside of the cap. It has a small little, maybe 2.5 inches long shape of monofilament at what would be the crown. Then it's all open wefted on the sides. Has an extended velvet nape with Velcro adjusters. And then they'll go to the front. And the front on the top here is a little more closed. Not really closed, but the wefts are sewn closer together than they are back here, which I think that would be normal. It has basically a temple to temple lace front that's about 2 inches deep, maybe 1 3/4, and it's a bit on the rough side. It's not a very wide lace on your skin though. Excuse me. So I'm just going to give her a couple of shakes by the nape and put her on. We'll see what we can do with her. Most of the time, from what I've seen, Wille's stock photos just kind of look like messy hair. Of course, to them, they are creating art. I'm an artist. So this is her out of the box, shaken. She has a real cute, shaggy little flip in the back. There are nice stays in the extended nape. There are stays in the ear tabs. The ear tabs come down in a good spot on me. They're right here. I'm not getting my glasses caught up in anything at this point in the game. I need to cinch it in a little bit though for my petite circumference. It's considered a petite average, but it was kind of loose on me. That's much better. It probably could still go in a little bit more for me. So in the stock photo, I noticed that it's pretty much just all swept. I only have a 2.5-inch forehead, so I'm guessing the model had a much longer forehead than me, because this is all kind of coming across and it's all kind of messy up in here, and it kind of flips up in the back. This wants to separate right here though, because there's almost like a little parting space that's been created in the lace. You can see it right there. When I put my hands in here to kind of feel around for permatease, I'm not feeling any. Maybe a teeny bit right here, but I'd have to really search for it. In the back, there is some permatease in this section where I'm running my hands from the nape up to through where the hair flips up about here. On the top, there's not really any permatease up here. My fingers are going right through the cap into my scalp. I'm not feeling any permatease there. On the sides, no discernible permatease. Now, I like this style. I've always really liked a short shag cut, and I've been predicting for the last 1.5 years that they were coming back in. So who knows, maybe they are. I like the color of this a lot. It reads very cool. If I put it next to my Aesthetica Chrome RT1B, the chrome is actually slightly warmer than this. So that tells you how cool it really is. It has a very dark root. It does not say in the description of the color what the root is. It just says it's a dark brown. So it's almost a black, if you ask me. It's pretty close to the 1B. It just wants to go back like that. I think it knows it's on my head. I'm not making it do that. So I want to do a few things to her and see how she holds up through it. I would like to put a little bit of water on her and maybe do a little bit of styling. Maybe take her over to this side even and see what we get out of her. I do have a word of caution in this wig. The reason I have a word of caution is because if this did not have a really dark root, I think that you would easily, if you manipulated this, or the wind blew, I think you would see wefting. So it may be a very cute style. I love the style. The hair feels very soft. It's a very nice, non-itchy, heat-friendly fiber. Some Ellen Villa fibers that are not heat-friendly cause my head to itch. This is not. But it's very nice and soft, and I like the color. But I do think that it's very low density. But I think it's so low density that, like just reaching up in there, I'm just touching wefts everywhere. And there's one here that I feel problematic because it's very hard. It's kind of like where the lace is sewn in. It's like right here, you could see my head if I just pull my hair back. Right there. It's actually because that's a hole in between a weft. So I just think that the wefts are sewn further apart than they really should be. I'm not a wig designer. This is just my opinion. I think they're sewn apart a great deal, and then they don't have a lot of hair on them. So it feels very, very lightweight. Will I continue to wear this? Most likely I will. Would I be concerned if I'm out in a lot of wind? Possibly. But not so much because it has such a dark root. But if I were trying to get this without a dark root, and maybe the cap would be a lighter color, because on a non-rooted wig, oftentimes the caps are a tan color, a taupe color, the color of our wig grips, or with this color without a root, it would probably be a white cap. And for me, that would be problematic if wind blew, because you would see my dark hair, which would make the white wefts show up even more. So that's the caution I'm just going to give you, is that if you're looking for a lighter color, a blonde that's not going to have a root in it, in this style, I caution you when you get it to look and see if, when you move the hair about, are people going to be able to see the wefts. So let's just kind of get started with the hair. I want to put a little bit of John Renault Peace Out Cream in her to begin with, just at the roots, just to give me a little bit of volume. I don't feel like it needs any dry shampoo or anything like that, because it's heat-friendly fiber. It really doesn't have a lot of shine to it. It's pretty natural looking. Sorry, I'm struggling getting a ring off. I have sizers on my rings, and the sizer went cockeyed. So just rub this in, and I'm going to go up in here. I'm going to make little circles in the top just to get this hair up and off the cap more, so it'll look kind of wild when I'm done with it. That's what I do with every wig when I get it. And this is running kind of big on me, so I am going to have to cinch these adjusters in again. Oh, I know what the problem is. I don't have my wig grip on. Duh. Oh, the senior moments never end. Here we go. That will help me a great deal, because this was just moving all over my head. Oh yeah, now it fits. Good. Fits really good. Great. That feels so much better. Right, so I'm going to go in here and just make little circles at the root area. I do this with every wig that I'm going to wear when I take it out of the box. It gets the fibers up off the cap, it just lets them breathe, and then it looks wild and crazy, but then you can smooth it down and you can do what you want with it. But you need to get it up to see what it's going to be able to do to begin with, because it's been in a box for who knows how long, shipped from who knows where, subjected to who knows what in the way of weather conditions. So we get her up and put a little more Peace Out Cream. See if I can flip up this back without even adding any heat. I want to see how much manipulation can I do before I have to add any heat to it. Excuse me. The bangs are pretty long for me. I only have a 2.5 inch forehead, but I want to show you the lace front. The lace front for me, I need to probably, it's very narrow on the skin. And it's not bad looking at all. I just, for me, because my head is really small, to get it to conform to my head so it would be less visible, I need to put some it stays on it. I don't want to do that right now. So I like to also go along the edges of the lace front and make little circles also. Why do I do that? I do that because it makes the hair look more natural. It's almost like can create a few baby hairs, so it's a little bit messed up there. So it isn't just this smooth line. You can see now how it looks a little not quite so perfect and like more our real hairline would look. Okay. All right, now I'm going to try to bring her down into that shag. I'm probably going to have to put her over to the side because the length of bangs is too long for me. Notice I'm not using my hands to flatten it. I'm just using my hands and my fingers to kind of put it into the places that I want it, retaining it being up off the cap. Lost an AirPod. I do love the little flippy things here, but I always did like a shag cut. I was kind of disappointed when people stopped wearing them, in all honesty. As long as they didn't start to look like you had a mullet on, I was okay with them. So maybe I'll just try to raise it up a little there in the front and bring it over here. to kind of piece out. So I could go like this. They show it in one of their pictures in the stock photo, is everything is behind the ears. And this bang is coming all the way over. Kind of like this. And flipping up here. Now I could maybe pull a few strands down where my sideburns would be. Or I could bring these down. And if I use a little bit of heat, I think I could get this side to flip up just a little bit, kind of like this side wants to. Which is kind of a cute look. And I might actually want to bring her in from the right side. I do oftentimes like a right side part. Maybe I can get her to flip up there a little bit. Bring her in to give her a little bit of a profile back there. Maybe I'll try a little more further over. There is no designated parting space on this because you do not have a lace part. So you can part it on the right, part on the left. It's just going to give the illusion of a part. I don't want to get too much hair off there because there's a weft right here that I can feel pretty easily. I'm going to turn around and give you a spin. This is what the back looks like. I would probably cut the tags out of this. I cut the tags out of every one I wear anyway, but with this one, I think they might be visible when this is flipped up, but I'm not sure because I'm not seeing the back of it. So, the style. The style's adorable. I love the style. The fact that it can be heat styled makes it even a better thing for me. I would like to be able to flip this side up. I don't really have too much product in it, so maybe I could do a little bit of dampening her. Let's just try dampening her down and see what she looks like. Why not? I haven't done that in a long time in any of my reviews, so why not? I don't have a curling iron turned on here, but I don't think it'll take very long. I have more of them than I need over here next to me. Okay. Now this one is just going to take a minute. I got a really small one I'm going to try because I want to try to take those ends right here and tip them up a little bit. I'm looking at a mirror off to the side because it's kind of hard for me to see what you guys are seeing in my phone. So these are what I want to tip out a little bit, like just like that one's going right there. I want a little piece over here to tip out a little bit. So I think you can see some of her low lights. There are a few of them. They're really, I looked through this hair and I could not see any color that I thought looked like a light sand, kind of like the Silver Sun RT of Estetica. I don't see anything like that. I posted a picture on Frannies' Facebook page. Her private group when I first got it, just out of the box, and I laid it next to two Aesthetica Chrome RT1Bs and one Icy Shadow, which is the same color, only the color is distributed differently, as Silver Sun RT. And the Silver Sun RT was indeed warmer than the Chrome, and this one was indeed even cooler than the Chrome. All right, let's see. Are you heated up enough? So, hopefully you're not too warm because she doesn't really have a temperature gauge on it. The thing about some of these really short styles on the curling is you have to do it several times to kind of get it the way that you want it. And the fact that I have a small curling iron may not be helping the situation. I do have a bigger one here I could have plugged in. But you can see how I'm getting it up a little bit. So let's just go again with some more of it. Starting to get a little bit dry, so I'm just going to kind of curl this up and kind of try to hold it for a minute. If I don't touch it till it cools, then it will probably come down to where I want it. I think that needs to be a little bit damp. Oops. Gotta get the end in or the end will get crimped. Then I have to get the crimps out. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it like that for a second until they cool off. Maybe one right here. When the hair is layered all over like this, there's a lot of little ends that sometimes you can't grab them all at once in the curling iron. Right, I think this is cooled off. Oh, lost an earpiece. Hold on. Hope it's still on. Sometimes when you touch them, you know you're turning them off and you don't know it. I'm gonna flip that one down a little. It's just a little too high for me. The sides is still wet. We'll just go back here, grab a few of these, spin them up a little more. So, let me see what I've got done here. Looking in the mirror again. Sorry, guys. I just have to do something with this. It just does not seem to be doing what I want it to do. I have to see if I'm getting the ends in it. That one's a little crooked now. This reminds me a tiny bit of what I did to Tony Bratton's Impressive in Light Blonde. When I trimmed it, kind of flipped up the edges a little bit and flipped up the back and made her fuller on top because it's a pretty flat wig. So, this might be how I would wear her. I think she's cute. I'm hoping that the wefting, the thin density of it, will not be a problem. I guess I won't really know that until I get outside with it somewhere. I have a ear tab here that's really sticking out from my glasses. I'd like to slide them underneath it and push them down. There, that gives my sides ends. Do you see how that went in there? We had a bulge out here from the ear tab. Once again, the back. Anyway, this color is, I think probably I got the last one. At the moment it's out of stock, but stock will be on the way. So you might want to consider taking a look at her, especially if you are a fan of a shag. And for me, I'll probably end up doing a little snip snip on the bangs so I'm not digging it out of my eyes all the time, even if I'm on the left side. So I think you'd really like her. She's a beautiful color. Once again, this is metallic blonde rooted. It does come in a champagne rooted. I had a champagne rooted in another Ellen Villa wig here that it wasn't real yellow. It was warmer than this, but it didn't have a lot of yellow tones in it. It was fairly neutral to cool, I would say. And I see it comes in a few colors, so you might want to check that out. Once again, it only weighs 2.3 ounces. Sides are 3.5. The nape is 2.5, and the top and the crown and the bang are 4.5. My circumference is 20 and a quarter. My face is 7 and a quarter from hairline to chin. So if your face is longer than that, it will look shorter on you. Okay, and my neck is only 3.5, and I'm 11.5 from ear to ear and 11.5 from hairline to occipital bone. So I am child size measurements, if that helps you to figure out where it would fall on you if you were to do it. Now, I could take her, I guess, if I wanted to, and make her more sleek, as you've seen me do with other styles. But that would be a different thing for you to do to her. And you could just bring a little piece down here on the side if you wanted to cover up your sideburns a little bit. Now it could go the other way. It could go with the left hand part. Do the same thing with it. I just happen to have it on the right now. You could smooth this down if you didn't like it as full as I had it. You can go in and you can really mess her up too. Just for fun. Put that way. Anyway, Anyway, thanks for stopping by today, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And find her and shop for her at frannieshair.com. Look in the description underneath the picture, the video. And we also have a private Facebook group named Frannies Hair that you can apply to join. There's some questions you'll need to answer and some rules you'll need to agree to before they can process you coming into the group or not. It's a good place to support other women who are losing their hair if you're having that issue, or other women that are wearing wigs for a multitude of reasons. So I just ask that you check us out. And you take care and have a blessed day. Good afternoon, everyone. I decided to come back and give you a bit of an update after I had worn the Ellen Villa Relax wig in metallic blonde rooted a couple of times. Because there were a few changes that I wanted to mention to you. I trimmed the bangs a little bit because they were so far into my eyes. I've left some of it a little bit long so that I can show you how I trimmed it. But the issue that happened with me was I wore it the day for filming the first time and for some still photos. Then I wore it once to church, and I was gone for probably about 3.5 hours in it. That's the only time I've worn it. I did not glue the lace down. I put no adhesive anywhere on it. I just wore it with a wig grip. And I had trimmed the bangs at that particular time before I wore it. The actual morning that I put it on to leave. And I discovered the next day that the lace was unraveling from here to here, and on this side from here to here. On both sides of this cap, I'm going to try to get up really close so you can see. Here to here, especially right here, there's this really super thick amount of sewing. It leaves a really hard bump right there. Then there's something very similar to it on this side, but it's not nearly as thick. It's like they stitched it and overstitched it multiple times on this side. This is the side that was frayed the worst. This is the side I was mentioning, now that I think about it, in the very first video, that it seemed to have what looked like the beginning of a part right there, because there really wasn't hair sewn into it. See what I mean? It's still there, but between this and this, where the lace is literally sewn on to the cap here, is where it all was unraveled. And then this side had started to do it the same right in here. So that was pretty frustrating, to think that I'm going to always have to wear it as a bang when I wear it, instead of off my face, even as a lift up. Because what I had to do was I ended up using fray check. And I had to pin all the hair back, and I had to go in and squeeze it on there on top of like a paper towel, but not have it touching the towel so it wouldn't be glued to it. And when that dried, then I went in with really sharp manicure scissors and I trimmed across the glue and the lace in that area. You can still see where it is a bit. I'm not used to using fray check, so I might have got it on a little bit thick. It feels bumpy to me there. I toyed with the idea of cutting all the lace off and just wearing it like that. I mean, if I'm going to wear it with a bang across my forehead, or I feel like I need to, or people will see this, then I guess it wouldn't hurt anything. I'd just lose a few hairs maybe if I ended up cutting them. I like a really narrow lace here anyway, because my forehead is small, and when they're longer lace, I can't get them to lay flat, or if I use it stays on them, or got to be glued. Eventually, within several wears, they start raising up, even though if they've been washed, it doesn't matter. It'll start raising up, and I have more and more trouble gluing them down. So I decided I would just go with the fray check, leave the lace on here. It's not a real long lace to begin with, and probably bring some bangs down. And this one wants to go this way, which I guess is okay, but I want to cover that spot up. So I've pulled it over a little bit. It doesn't want to stay over here. Perhaps if I applied some heat, I could get the knots redirected. But I mean, there's fray check now in the area where probably there are knots. So I guess it's going to be more like this for me to feel secure in it. So I still need to trim something. You can see this is going down into my eye. All this here. This is an area that I originally trimmed. This one I trimmed a little, but not actually enough yet. So I'm just going to show you how I trimmed it. I want to say that I'm very disappointed in this. I'm disappointed in the fact that when you receive a new wig, that you wear it for 3 hours and the lace is fraying. And you didn't glue it down, you didn't stretch it, you didn't do anything to it to cause that to happen. I think the quality control and manufacturing needs to be double checked on some of these products. I'm really frustrated lately with the condition and the longevity of many lace fronts, in all honesty. It's not what it was 2 years ago. I have no idea why, particularly with this brand. So I'm going to go in here and just show you how I would trim this bang to be a little shorter so that I possibly could have just a little wispy bang going across my forehead and be able to wear it. I was able to get it to flip up a little on the sides like I wanted. I was able to tame it down in here and still have a little bit of flip in the back. I think it's a darling style. I really do. I'm very disappointed. I think the color is a little bit white for me, but would I wear it like that? Yes. I'm just twisting this. I'm twisting this long piece really hard. And then I'm just going to go in at an angle with my scissors. Okay, so I've got some of it off now. As you can see, it's a little shorter. Maybe not quite enough yet. But you can always take more off. But you can't put it back on once you get it off. So that's why you want to try little pieces at a time. And I'm going at an angle, so it's almost a little more like a point cut than a blunt cut. And if I think it looks too blunt when I get done, I will go in and do this when I'm closer to a mirror into the tips to just take off some points. Okay, so now I'm going to go, there's a piece right here that seems to be sticking in my eye, and it's not much, so I'm just snipping it off. And I'm going to go to this piece, twist it, twist it, twist it, twist it, and I'm going down. It's kind of like at an angle, and I'm making little tiny cuts. I'm not just cutting it all down flat at a time. Looks like I could use something again in one spot. And then we're going to get over here. I'm wearing AirPods because my husband is home, and between him and the dog, the noise never stops. I mean, he thinks I can't hear him. That's because he has a hearing problem. He will not get a hearing aid. Okay. And I'm usually having to hook up a microphone anyway, or you guys can't hear me because of my low voice. And the fact that I'm still hoarse from the bronchitis I had. It's not helping matters. I apologize for that. So I'm trying to look also in the phone as a mirror, which is not a very good thing to do. But I do have a mirror behind the phone against the window. I can see in that, but it's 3 feet away from me. So it may not be the best job. As long as I can kind of cover some of this, I should be okay. Right here wants to curve forward. That's, I think, kind of maybe the style. I could probably, I believe this is a heat-friendly wig, yes. So I could curve that, yes, because I was doing the sides and flipping them up with a curling iron. So I'll be able to kind of curve those back with a curling iron a little bit. Probably a bigger barrel than what I was using to flip them up. And I'm going to kind of mess this up a little bit to kind of disguise some of what's going on in there. Because that's obviously, indeed, a spot where they missed sewing hair in. I don't think they meant to make it look like a part there. But at least if I can cover it to some degree, I can still wear this. But I just don't think that people should buy new wigs and have to repair things on them in order to be able to even wear them. That just isn't good business. And this is not Frannie's fault, who sent me this wig. This is the manufacturer. Frannie never saw this wig before it came to me. She ordered it for me, and it came from the manufacturer. It's the same with the wigs that you get from her, unless they're in her inventory in an open box. She doesn't get them before they come to you from the manufacturer. So you can always feel free to tell her if you have any problems, because the manufacturer does have to stand behind things that are defective. It's just whether or not they consider it a defect or not, I guess. I'm not on that end of it, so I really can't answer for you. But this is kind of how I think I would wear her. I kind of like it better if I had a separation here. Maybe I can get away. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it going to be too obvious that I have fray check right there? To have a little bit of an opening? I like an opening on my face. I'm just going to spin around so you can see the back. I did not cut the tag out yet either. I had forgotten to do that when I went to church with it. So you might see the tag. It's only because I haven't taken it out. I hadn't hooked the stays down in the back either. Sorry. Anyway, so you can see that the bangs are a better fit on me now. They don't feel like they're poking in my eyes. If I can wear it this way with this little opening here, which I might be able to just tamp some of my foundation on that little bit of fray check that I probably got a little too thick. But there is a sewing bump there also. There's like too much thread that was sewn right there, so that's creating the bump that the fray check got on. So I may just try to put a little bit of foundation on that and mask it so it looks like there is a little bit of a part there. Overall though, other than the problems I had with this unit, I can only speak to this unit. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with any other unit that you would get. A lot of these kinds of things are just a one-off. You know, there's human error that comes into play when they're made too. So just check yours over carefully. And look at, this is all the hair that I cut off today. It's quite a bit. And you need to remember, you might not have to cut anything off. I only have a 2.5-inch forehead. So you have to have a pretty short bang to actually fit this from here to here. for me, so they're usually a little bit too long. Anyway, I wanted to give you an update, let you know that just check yours over to make sure there's no issues with the sewing or any problems like that. And but other than that, Relax is an absolutely adorable style. And this is a very, very cold color. Just make sure you remember that. It is not even as warm as, and I said this in the video, but I'll show you again on another Estetica that I wear a lot of, which is Chrome RT1B. This is what I'm working on. This is winter. And you can see, if I get up close, Relax is much cooler actually than even the Chrome RT1B, because Chrome RT1B has, I think, a little more of the gray hairs mixed into the silver, and it has a tiny little bit, hardly discernible, of a few, I think, threads of sand, just so it's not really icy. The root, the 1B, is a black. You're not going to convince me the roots on this are not black, even though Ellenville doesn't give us a number for the root. So it is a definite black root, and it's a very, very pretty color if you can wear cool colors. But if you can't wear cool colors, it's going to probably not be the right color for you. I think at this point in time that Relax might be totally sold out. So there should be quite a few people that will know whether or not they have any kind of problems with her. And you probably won't. It's probably just the one that I have. But I wanted to bring you up to date on that to let you know and to show you how I did trim my bangs. And I may stick some, since I can't quite get this to cover anyway. With a curling iron and making that go that way, I might be able to do that. But I do like an opening into the face. So I will live with her. And thank you for listening to me again. And I will talk to you soon, and you be blessed.